Hello. Hello, hello, hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh yeah, okay, this is on. I think I'm live. I guess I should check. No, yeah, I am. Okay. Hello. How is everyone doing this day? This is so confusing. It says that there are 0 people in here, so I don't. But I can see the chat, so. How are you guys doing this lovely Sunday? I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Okay, yes, I am live. Cool, cool, cool. Hello, hello. Oh gosh, that wrap up I posted today. I was very nervous to post that. Good afternoon. Or if you're not from the US, good probably evening. I know that we have usually some people from Europe in here. Hold on, I can't see anything. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, yes, I knew somebody told me to read her book. So yes, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me to read her book because I really enjoyed it. It was weird. It was right up my alley. I mean, yeah, you guys probably know what I enjoy. Oh wow, it's only 3 p.m. in Peru. That's crazy. I guess you're not too far. Yeah, that's what I thought, that it was later in the UK. 8 p.m. Yes. Yes, yes. Now I remember. Now I remember who it was that told me to read her book. But yes, thank you for introducing her to me because I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was dark and gross and weird and, all the stuff I normally like. Oh, did you? On Goodreads? Was it recently? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how anything works. I don't know. I'll have to look and see if it was like a recommendation. Maybe I took a picture of it. I don't know. Man. Oh, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, you might have to send it again. Honestly, I'm so bad with technology. I have not ever read. I didn't even know Game of Thrones was a book, to be honest. I've never seen the show, and I've never read Harry Potter. I'm not a big fantasy person, so I don't really like fantasy all that much. Oh, yes. Okay, no, now I remember. Yes, you did send me that one, and I did either screenshot it or I added it to my list somewhere. Now I remember. Yes. But I just have a bunch of pictures of random smut books and Mosley. It's like my whole camera roll when I was trying to figure out which books to read. Oh, I had no idea that it was even. I've got to be honest. I watched like maybe 5 minutes of a Game of Thrones episode, and I never watched the show or anything. I had no idea it was even a book. Croatia. Wow. Hello, welcome. So you already read that? Is it her newest book? The Triggers and Tiaras one? I have not read Hog yet, but I do own it somewhere. Or maybe I have it on Kindle. What's everyone currently reading? Anybody reading anything good? Okay, on Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's pretty new. But yes, now that you said the title, I do remember seeing that and I did write it down somewhere. Wait, there are there still more books coming out from the series? Fever House? I haven't read that one. Pet Cemetery, that's a wonderful one. Brother, is that the Anya Allborn book? Den of Vipers. I don't know what that is. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't gone I have not been anywhere. I just went on my very first plane ride like last year. So I have not been anywhere except for driving distance from California. And that's about it. But I just am slowly conquering my fear of flying. But I went on my first plane ride like, yeah, a year or two ago. The Queen. I haven't read that one. Gone to See the Riverman. That's a fun one. Oh yeah, you'll remember plenty to participate. Yeah. Echo. I have not read that. Oh, Invisible Cities. I have a book that I'd really like to read by that author called, now I can't remember, but it's been on my list for so long. I've got to get through that this year. They Never Learn. I don't know what that is either. Between Two Fires. So many books. Oh, Richard, you did start American Psycho. It was so hard. The only reason I didn't click that one is because I always try to read, okay, it's winter, so I got to read winter books. So then when I saw The Terror, I'm like, okay, well that's perfect for winter. But yeah, I figured American Psycho would win. The Bloody Chamber. I don't know what that is either. Never Lie. I think I read that one. Oh, the new Alice Feeney book. I've heard good things about that one. Sherlock Holmes. I've never read any Sherlock Holmes books or anything. Oh, did you like Gone to See the Riverman? It was a fun one. Oh, The Perfect Marriage. Oh my gosh, you guys. You guys probably saw I did a book haul and I got this book, but look at this new edition with the blood dripping off of it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then the front cover has like a bloody handprint. Yeah, I'm excited to read that one. So hopefully that's a good read. I have not read The Fisherman yet, but I do own it. And I have been told, I have gotten quite a few comments and messages saying to read that one. Oh, you did buy the Victorian Psycho book? Yeah, that one just popped up out of nowhere. Is it a new book? Did it just come out? Because I've been seeing so many people talk about it. The Big Sleep. So many great books. And it's crazy because half the books you guys name, I don't even know what those are. I really loved Home is Where the Bodies Are. I really loved that book. I definitely related to that story and those characters and what was going on in there. So, okay, so that's why everyone's talking about it, I guess. I don't even know. I don't know what Children of Ruin is, but that sounds interesting. Sounds like you guys are reading some good stuff. I just started reading. Oh, you know what I'm reading, Richard, is the book that I chose for the that TBR thing on Patreon. We have these. Can I reach those? I wish I had the book on me. Let me show you because it's cute. If I can grab it. On Patreon, we just got these little TBR things. They look like little books, and then you open it up and there's a prompt. So we're gonna open one every month, and the book that I'm reading now was the prompt for this month, which was, what was it? It was like, oh, a book you know nothing about. And so there was this book that I had called Left Hand by Paul Curran. And the back doesn't give you any information. And it's fucking weird. It's weird, and it's right up my alley. Yeah, and it's like split into different parts, and it's written like a quiz. Like there's an A, B, C, D. Oh, it was the picture that I posted on Instagram, if you guys saw that. But very weird. Very weird. Yeah. Oh, hello. Hello. But yeah, I just thought the prompt idea, it's cool for, because we already have a book club here, but then we can hopefully like read books on that we already own. You know what I mean? That's why I like the idea of the little TBR cards, because I have so many books and it'll be nice to be able to get through some of them. Dominion of Blades. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Morella's gonna grace us with her presence probably. most of the time. She usually, I don't know what it is, but the second she hears me in here, she's always here. Yes, she is very adorable. She's very evil, but very adorable. Okay, book club. I'm happy to be back. So, is there anybody here that hasn't read Boys in the Valley? Just so I know, it obviously doesn't matter. You can be in here if you've read it or not. But I'm just curious because then I'll be more mindful of giving you like a summary of the plot. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'll try the best that I can to kind of like let you guys know what happens in the story. And yes, I will be obviously ruining things, and we're going to go into detail with things. But honestly, if you haven't read it, I do highly recommend. And I got to be honest, this is the second time I've read this book, and I feel like I learned different things about it. I came to a realization at the end that I'm like, how did I miss this the first time I read it? Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. Let me pull up my notes here. All right. Oh, Richard, I just bought the vegetarian because of you, and I think I'm gonna read that soon because it sounded so interesting. When you recommended that one for last month, I was like, oh, this sounds quite interesting. Yeah, Philip Fracassi is an amazing writer, and I think Boys in the Valley was the first book I read from him, and I was just blown away. Like, this to me is a 5-star book. I love everything about this book, and even reading it a second time, because I just read it last year, even reading it a second time, I was like, this book is so good. But I am interested, yeah, for those of you that listen to it, how I'm gonna need that eventually. Okay, I'll grab it later. I'm curious how those of you who listen to it, how you thought. Yeah, that's what I saw that she won the Nobel Prize. That's the book that I was talking about in that Patreon video where I said that I wanted to read authors that had won Nobel Prizes. That was one because I saw that. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to read that book anyways because it sounded so interesting. Yes, he does have more books coming out this year. Oh, that's the book that I read by him. Um, I read, oh my gosh, what's it called? A Child Alone with Strangers. And I really enjoyed that one too. That one's still, like, I would still recommend it. I did like Boys in the Valley more, but I guess I don't want to give too much away. But, there's one scene in there that wasn't for me. But if you guys read it, I'm sure that you'll know. Watching from the UK. This is so crazy that there's people in here from all over. Yeah, I hadn't heard of him either, and this was the a book that my best friend and I do like a reading together thing each month. And this was a book that he picked out. I don't know where he saw it or anything, but we read it and I fell in love with the story. I think it's so well written, and there's a lot to pick apart, so I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. From Massachusetts, hello. Yeah, and I'm very excited. I think he has a novel coming out this year and a short story or a novella. I don't remember. Oh, is it the final book of the Gravekeeper series? Was it already released? I thought it was coming out later. But I did know it was coming out. I knew it was the fifth book, but I didn't know it was the final one, which I'm very interested to read that one. The fourth one, I just feel like the first three, we didn't get a whole lot of information. And then the fourth one, we got so much information. And so, yeah, I'm curious what the fifth one, like how everything will wrap back around. I didn't know it was already out. I guess I'm going to the bookstore. New York, Denver. Okay, so we do have people in the US. I always never know what time to do book clubs. But I'm glad that there are people in the US here because I figure if we do them early, at least the people in the US they do have a chance. Like, obviously, they might have plans and stuff. But people in the UK, like, they can't come if we do it later at night. So. But I'm always worried that people from the US won't come here. But yeah, Detroit, Louisiana, North Carolina, Florida. Yeah. Yep. It's pretty much the only time I feel like that works for people in the UK. Okay, so let's get into Boys in the Valley. Texas. Kentucky, Germany. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh my God, I can't get my mouse over there. I don't know how anything works. Okay. All right, so let's just start. So for those of you who didn't read the book, it's about this boarding school the 1900s. Does it tell us when it is? Yes, 1898. Well, no, that's just the opening. It's a few years later. It's in like 1905. So, there's boys at a boarding school, and it's a religious boarding school. There are priests there. I apologize if I use any of the incorrect terminology. I don't know anything about religion, but I think they're like priests. They call them father and stuff, so I think that's a priest. New York, Vermont, dang, all over. And our main character is named Peter. He, both of his parents have passed away, and he's okay Catholic, and he's at this boarding school with these priests, and there's one priest there that he particularly. Oh, Lizzie, you made it. Good morning. Yeah, and any time is bad for people in Australia. It's just always a bad time. It's super early for her right now. Okay, so there are some priests there that are good with the kids. There's a priest named Andrew that Peter connects with more so than the others. And then there are some priests that are like quite cruel to the children and don't run the place all that well. But the beginning of the story actually doesn't start at the school. It starts with this opening chapter of what happens with Peter and his family. And we learn that Peter's father has killed his mother and then lit the house on fire. I don't remember if he shot himself too. Yeah, I think he did. But regardless, it starts with a fire. And so kind of the first question that I have for you is, because the story could have started at the school, so why do you think that the opening scene was like what happened to Peter when he was younger? And how does this change our perception of Peter, or does it? Like, would the story have been different if we just picked up in the boarding school and Peter was one of the 30 or 40 or 50 other kids at the boarding school? Do you think it was important to show kind of where he came from? Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe because the story starts with fire and ends with fire. Okay, I'm bringing this up for a reason because I have something at the end. Oh, hello, kitty. Let me grab a pen and a piece of paper really quick. Hold on. Because I know I'm going to need it. Ouch. Yeah? Okay, and Mosley is sleeping right by my feet, per usual. Hi, buddy. Okay, sorry. Oh, interesting. Okay. To absolve his dad of his sins, because yes, that does happen later. Hello, I'm very glad you're here. Oh, in Ohio? We got people from all over. Okay, so yes, that's interesting. I just wanted to write. That it starts and ends with fire. That is an interesting thing to kind of point out. Come here, Marilla, I can't see. Thank you. Oh, rude. Okay. Yes. See, this is so interesting. This is why I love book club, because I can ask a question and we can have 10 different perspectives of the same thing. I mean, this is why I love reading in general. Morella is not going to make this easy for us. So, so it allows him to help other people. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. He wasn't able to save his parents, but I do think that it is interesting that we're given his dad's, like, what his dad has gone through, and then we get to see what Peter does, kind of in the same situation, right? Like, this, obviously, not with the gun and stuff, but in a fire, what he does and how he differs from his father, too. Oh, that's interesting. So see everything taken away from him and see what he finds important. That's also interesting. Hello from Kansas. Hello, hello. Okay, so Father Andrew says that he needs to see the good and the bad in life to be able to make his choices. Interesting. Very interesting. So, in the story, I'm going to give you just a quick summary for those of you who haven't read the story. But the whole story is about this, what did I call it? An orphanage. One night, late at night, these men come with a man who is possessed. And he has, well, they have sacrificed a young child, and he has like occult symbols written all over his body. And we'll read some of those details later because I think that they're just, oh, they're great. But when the man dies, it releases this evil onto the orphanage. And that's kind of what the whole book, what happens through the whole book is a lot of the times you're like questioning what's happening or who's good and who's evil or who's taking what sides or how it's happening. And it is, I mean, this book is so cool. So, but another question I wanted to ask you is why do you guys think that Peter's chapters are the only ones in first person? How does this affect your relationship with the characters and especially with Peter? What do you think, Marilla? Or did you notice that his was the only one in first person? Did that stand out to you or did it not? What do you guys think? Hello from the UK. Hello. Yeah, there's quite a few people from the UK in here, so I'm glad that we're doing it early then. Do you have anything to say? No? She's not interested in discussing. So did you guys notice that Peter's chapters were the only ones in first person or oh, okay. Yeah. So like you pick up on it, but you didn't really think that it was like it didn't make that big of a difference to you. Yes, it puts you in his shoes. Yeah, I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of present tense. There's a place for it. And I'll give you why I think too. You didn't notice the switch yet. 100%. Yes, it makes his chapters more personal. So here's how I feel about present tense. With present tense, there's a lot of lack of emotion. Peter's chapters begin in first person. Yeah, to have more personal perspective. Yeah, and it's especially challenging if you don't write the rest of the book in first person as well. So I think he did such a great job. Like, I mean, to even have people not even be able to identify that switch means that he wrote it in such a seamless way that, yeah, it was definitely an effective technique and it didn't feel out of place or odd like sometimes books like that can if they're switching tenses or switching first person. So with present tense, a lot of the time you have a lack of emotion, but so it's like less emotion but more suspense. So what the heck was that? Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that on the live stream. That was so weird. It just showed on my thing fireworks. Oh yeah, no, it did. I don't know what the hell that was. What was that? Anyways, so for present tense for me personally, like a who done it in present tense, perfect. Because it's super high suspense and usually you have less emotion with whodunits because everyone's hiding something. So you don't need to know the characters personally. But with a book like this, you have kind of a balance of both, which I think he does really well. He has that high suspense, which I think is great for the present tense, but then we also get first person and we get a little bit more of that emotion from Peter that would otherwise, I think, be lacking in present tense. So that's my idea for why he did it. Yeah, or like, yeah, it definitely stands out that he is the main character for sure. So yeah, I mean, there are plenty of reasons why, but I think you guys all hit on something. And even if you didn't notice, I think that that's still interesting because I think it means that he wrote it in, yeah, like you said, such an effective way. Yeah, and I think we do also feel connected and closer to Peter. I think because we do get his story at the beginning, and then also we get to see him on a more personal level. Okay, I don't know if I want to say this yet or if I want to save this to the end. I think I'm going to save that for the end because I have. Okay, let's just read some creepy lines, guys, because there's some really fucking creepy lines in here. Oh. Oh, interesting. It makes the ending more unexpected. See, that's something I hadn't even considered. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It does. Oh, really? I haven't read Blackmouth in a while. Toronto. Oh no, shoveling. Oh no. Is it snowing bad out there? Um, Not to brag or anything, but it's probably like 65, 70 degrees outside here today. Oh no. I don't know how you guys I don't know how you guys live where it snows like that. I mean, the snow is cool to go visit every once in a while. That's what we do out here. We go and visit the snow. So we'll like go up to the mountains and stay the night. But other than that, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't like how do you walk your dog? My dogs don't even go out in the rain. There's no way they would go out in the snow. Yeah, we have a very our weather is phenomenal. I will never complain. Honestly, it's been a cold winter even out here by our standards and it's like 40, 50 is the lowest that it gets. Choose one, Darcy Coates or Stephen King. I can't do that. They're so different. They're so different. I'm in California. I'm in Southern California, like by LA. No, Darcy Coates and Stephen King, they're so different. Darcy Coates is like so mild and she's like a fresh breath in the horror area, you know? But Stephen King's like a seasoned professional. I would say they both have their strengths and weaknesses, you know, like all writers. So let me read you a few creepy scenes. Okay, so we have the possessed man that comes in. And it says that, I'm not sure, I don't know if this is when the boys are hearing him or if it's the priest or what, but it says a harsh barking sound comes from the room. At first, it sounds to Andrew like it's a loud, rapid bark of a dog, but then it evens out, lengthens, and repeats, and he recognizes it for what it is: laughter. So this is when this possessed man comes to the priest. Oh, see, even this is interesting. Like how you pictured Brother Johnson. I pictured him like tall and lanky. So interesting. So, yeah, I think a lot of my favorite quotes were around this possessed man that comes in because he's just like his behavior and the way he looks and what he says, it's so creepy. And then the kids hear the laughing and they say, that laughing, is that one man? Oh, I got the chills. So, well, I guess we'll get to that in a second, but so the possessed man, his name is Paul Baker, and we have a little bit of a description of him. So it says, I think this is from maybe Andrew's perspective. It says, that is no man, that is a demon. Paul Baker's skin is deeply wrinkled as if pruned and tinted in a natural dark ashen gray. The eyes are jaundiced, wild and ferocious as a jackal. The hair, a coarse, brittle blonde, has fallen out of place, giving the skull a splotchy, misshapen look. The teeth are rotten and black, and quite evident as Paul Baker stretches his back his pale, wormy lips in an effort to fully expose them to in a fiendish rictus, a devil's grin. The pupils in his yellow, milky eyes are black and misshapen as drops of ink on wet parchment. They dart rapidly between his brother and the other deputies. They settle on Poole. Creepy. And then there's a scream after they're trying to help this man. And I believe this is it's from the boy's perspective. It says, "This scream sounds much different, and David realizes with a sour twist of his stomach that it did not come from the same man as the first." I think that's why I liked this book so much, honestly, because possession is in so much horror, so many movies, so many books, and it's really impressive when somebody can take a trope like that and make it feel fresh and new. Yeah, but they didn't, I feel like to me, they didn't go overboard. They didn't make you roll your eyes or anything. There's, nobody crawling on the ceiling or their head spinning backwards or anything. Like it wasn't excessive, but it was just the perfect amount of creepy. And it kind of does walk that line where I guess you could read it really if it was a demon or if it wasn't. I mean, I think there would be argument for both, I guess. I personally think that it was a demon, but oh yeah, we are many. Yes. Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about the religious stuff because you guys will definitely have more insight on that because I tend to miss a lot of religious stuff in books. Um is When Evil Lurks, is that South American movie? Hold on, let me see if that's the movie that I'm thinking of. Yes. Oh my gosh, this movie is so fun. Yes, you're right. You are absolutely right. I know. So many. Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's what's kind of interesting. The overarching, I think, theme of the book is the idea of what is evil. And obviously we'll dig into a little bit more because obviously they're children and they're not evil, but like what turns them evil, what makes them turn evil, why are some evil and some aren't? And those questions aren't really answered in the book other than evil does exist and it's out there. And that's yeah, it's kind of creepy. And interesting when we see how the kids respond to the evil versus these priests who should be the highest standards of morality. And a lot of the time, like you said, they just fail. Yeah, he was a cruel bastard. Yes, from Argentina. That's what it was. That's where it was from. Yeah, that movie was awesome. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Yeah, because you kind of do know like okay, well we saw the kids like especially Bartholomew. We saw him give his or try to give his food to another one of the kids when he had his dinner removed, right? So like we see his true character and then at the same time we see him possessed and doing all these horrible things. So it's like you can't fully blame them, I don't think, in a lot of ways, but with someone like Poole, that's just his character. Like he's just a shitty person. So it does bring interesting topics of like what is evil, I think, into the story. Oh no, you're good. I think the next movie night is Saturday. This Saturday. That's what this paper is from when we played that game. Actually, I don't know, Richard, were you there when we played I played oh my god, it was the cutest game. It was so cute. Little Misfortune yesterday. It was so cute. It's like this little girl, and she just has the most horrific life, and everything out of her mouth is like the most traumatic thing ever. So it's so funny, but like, it's not funny, but it's so funny. And then you're just trying to not get her killed, but then you have to like give her ecstasy, and like it's such a trip of a game. I had so much fun playing it. Yeah, I think that there's probably a lot of the religious stuff that I missed because I don't know much about religion. So I'm excited for you guys to kind of fill me in on things that I did miss out on. It's 58, 62. Sometimes I just write numbers and then I have no quote highlighted and I'm like, what was I trying to do? Okay, so we have this possessed man and we have a little bit of like his description and stuff, but he says, "You cannot count my names, Father." And then it says, his voice deep and resonant, a chorus. He steps down off the bed towards Pool. Pool is another one of the priests, for those who haven't read it. I think like the head priest, who quickly steps backwards. Paul looms over him, easily a head taller than the priest. His shredded torso bleeds more freely with his movement, running in rivulets down its chest, dripping onto the top of his bare feet, spotting the floor. Ropes dangle from his wrists, snake away from his ankles. He still holds the bloodied wooden spike. Foam and drool soak his unshaven chin. Saliva hangs in strings from his bottom lip. His eyes are blisters, his face that of an aged corpse. He blows slightly. He bows slightly, not blows. He bows slightly, meeting Pool's eyes and whispers, "For we are many." Oh my gosh. Oh, this book creeps me out. Such great lines. I have a few other creepy lines, but they're... Yeah, that one's way later in the book. But I'm telling you... Oh, and I didn't even read you my favorite line of the book. This is my absolute favorite line. "I'm so sorry I drank her blood, but it tasted so fucking good." Come on. Oh, come on. So amazing. Yes, the hamster strip club. Yes. That game is so freaking funny. Yeah, I was dying playing it. I could not stop laughing because it's just the most absurd game, but it's so funny and so cute at the same time. I have not read American Rapture yet, but it is on my list to read this year. So then that this is my question for you because some of you guys have already touched on this, but I'm curious how you guys feel. How does the exorcism scene play into and against typical exorcisms in horror movies? Like, how was it similar, but then also completely different and new from kind of those tropey horror scenes of possession that we see? Like I told you, there's no crawling on the walls, there's no head spinning around, there's no pea soup. It's not like excessive. But I'm curious what you guys think because a lot of you guys have said, like, yeah, it did feel like a new thing, which is so hard to do in horror, especially with something as broad as possession. But I think he did such a great job of making the scene like use the same elements, but then also make it feel original. I wish you guys could see Morella. She's just staring out the window, but she looks so, she looks possessed. She's like, oh. Yeah, so that's something definitely too, like in a lot of horror books or movies, they kind of build up to the exorcism. The exorcism is usually like the crescendo of the horror. And yeah, it happens right away. It's immediate. And that's not even the worst that happens in this book. That's just the beginning. And so yeah, you're absolutely right. I love that too. I like that he dies before the exorcism even begins. So we don't get this like whole drawn out religious ceremony. It's just he comes, he dies, he just passes his evil on to everyone else, and that's kind of his whole job in the book. Okay, let me search that one. Patient by Jasper. I will look into this one. Oh, I've seen this book, I think. I will definitely look into this. Thank you. I will definitely add that to my list. Oh, interesting. It felt more like a ER drama than an exorcism. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, because they're more just like panicky trying to save him versus like getting into the whole exorcism of it. Yeah, you're right. Yep, I think I totally agree with you. Yeah, it was so simple. It wasn't over exaggerated. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was just creepy and honestly freaked me out. It definitely, when he says that, oh, I'm sorry I drank your blood, but it tasted so fucking good. Every time I read that line, I'm like, that has got to be one of the best lines in any horror book. Um, okay, well, it makes you think if Bartholomew was the only one possessed, or were the other kids possessed, or were they happy to just follow him? Yeah. I mean, this is a question throughout the whole book, right? Because I even asked that question, like, so this possessed man ends up killing a deputy and then dying himself, and we get a burst of air that flies. The doors open. A cross falls from the wall that's always hung there, that's always overlooks them, and now all of a sudden it's on the floor. So someone said earlier there's a bunch of symbolism in here, and yeah, he does such a great job of just even something simple like that, like a cross falling from the wall, when before he has stated like this cross watches over them. It feels like they're always being watched by it, and it's kind of this sign of protection, and then all of a sudden it's on the floor and the wind blows in. And what else happens? We do have things too, like the demons know things that they shouldn't, which is definitely a big trope in horror, that they speak different languages, multiple voices. But what does differ is that the possessed can go into the chapel, which is usually quite different from other horror books. So that's also pretty interesting too. But yeah, and then we don't know who is the first one possessed. Is it Bartholomew? Is he the whole reason why all this started? Is it because he's outside? Is it because he's like in his most vulnerable state, so he's more willing to give himself to that? Do they have an option? Do they have a choice? Like, there are so many questions that you can ask when reading this book, and it does spread, and we do get an idea of how it spreads, I think, with what's that fucker's name? The caretaker guy, the bad guy. What's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. What's that guy's name? Somebody won't remember. Oh yes, and the symbols being carved into his skin. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. So, yeah, he does say we are many. So it could be multiple demons. Yeah, that wasn't even really something that I considered. So you think it was just like a release of all of his demons, and then the demons just went into whoever they could? I think so too. I think it was just the perfect amount. Vulnerability, anger, neglected kids, absolutely, yes. And Bartholomew's like, he's terrified. He's out in this ditch. He's scared that he's going to die. Like, I could see a child being in that vulnerable of a position. And if they're given an option of a voice like, hey, I'll help you if you let me in, or whatever, whatever ends up happening to that one fucker. Is it Johnson? Is that his name? I don't remember. Oh my gosh, I just read this book. But yeah, I could see a young, scared kid. And even we do see that at the end too, when the demons are like kind of have the upper hand and they're like, well, who wants to join us and we'll let you live. We do see some of the kids, like, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they're agreeing to. They're little teeny children. So yeah, that is interesting. Heard a lot of comparison to Lord of the Flies. I got way more children in the corn in the orphanage. Yes, so that is something that I wrote too. I do think that it does feel a lot like Children of the Corn. I agree, because Lord of the Flies, I just feel like is such a different, it's like a totally different thing. But yeah, Children of the Corn, because you have, first of all, the dangers of religion. So it's not, the book is not at all saying that religion is bad, but when you have someone like Poole in charge, look at what happens, And so yeah, I think it is kind of like a comment on that, because not everybody who's religious is good and not everybody who's not religious is bad, but religion can be a very beautiful and powerful thing as used in the book if it's used correctly. But if someone takes it and uses it for their own ideology and personal gain the way that Poole does, then it can be really harmful. So I totally agree that it did feel very Children of the Corn. And they do have, I feel like, a lot of similar underlying themes. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yep, he was out in the weather, in the hole, in the ground, in a snowstorm. Like, you can't get more vulnerable than that. And plus, he hadn't eaten. He's a small boy. So, yeah, I feel so bad for him. Yes, it does a good job of questioning the root of true evil. Yes, why would an inherently good person like Bartholomew turn evil? Exactly. Johnson. Okay, so yeah, you guys are saying Johnson, so that must be his name. I don't know why. I can't remember what his name is. Okay, so battery died. Hold on. I knew that was gonna happen. Oops, sorry, Marilla. I have to figure out how people... Oh, too close, too close. Nobody wants to be that close. Okay, let me go charge this battery. One sec. I'm coming back, Mosley. I'm not leaving you. Don't worry. Oh, jeez. Just tripped over a cord. I have to figure out how people live stream without their batteries dying and running into issues the way that I do. Okay, so you think that this one man died and he had many demons in him, and then it just kind of released onto the children, and then for whatever reason, which I don't know that we'll ever have an answer, we can definitely question, but a lot of the children were affected. Oh my gosh, it would be, oh, you're so right, if Mike Flanagan directed it. Oh, that would be amazing. It would be fantastic. Okay, yes. So then Brother Johnson. So we do get kind of an insight on the demons asking, do you want to join us with Brother Johnson? But he is definitely treated differently. So I don't think that that's the way that it happened with all the kids. And do you remember they're trying to get Peter alone? And then like even in the chapel when they attack, when that in that scene, oh my God. But when they end up attacking the other kids, they're like whispering something in Peter's ear. So I don't even think it's necessarily a choice for all of the kids, the way that it is with Brother Johnson. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess that is another question that I have for you. Why do you think Johnson is treated so differently? Is it because of his character? Is he more easily convinced? Like, why does he have a choice? But then I guess the other kid in the hole had a choice too. But it seemed like that wasn't the way that it was for everyone. Or that's just how I read it, you know? Oh, that's interesting too. Yeah, so because he was angry and like felt, yeah, and how unfair is that for Bartholomew? He's like, I was trying to do a good thing and help the other kids in the orphanage, and then he gets punished for it. So, yeah, I could definitely see that. His anger being like, well, then what is good? If, like I just did that, fine, I'll be a demon then. Yeah, I know, I know. I know. It was really sad watching and reading like what the poor kids had to go through, their lack of food and how they were worked so hard and the punishment by pool and all that. Okay, yes. And so the flies in the head thing, does that have anything to do with religion? I don't know. Oh, interesting. Okay, so because Johnson's head, he heard like tons of different voices screaming all at once. It wasn't just like a single entity. Oh, interesting. Johnson was weak of faith. Yeah, if he had more faith, then yeah, and he was just, I mean, he like killed his own kid and wife and stuff. He definitely was not a good dude. But then it was weird too because you even saw bits and pieces of Johnson where you saw little glimmers of like, okay, maybe he does have some goodness in him, you know? Like I don't think that one person is 100% good or 100% evil. So I'm glad that we kind of got a little bit of him. We saw moments, and a lot of the time, yes, he is very selfish and he's a horrible person, but I think we did see few moments. And at the end, he did choose right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is also true. Yeah. He wasn't baptized until the end. So, do you think that all of the kids had the choice that Johnson was given? Do you think that a little demon boy walked up and they were just like, hey, join us? And then they could either decide to join them or not? Or do you think that there were some like other manipulations going on, some whispering in the ears of kids and stuff that turned them without them having a choice? Um, so we're going to be doing book club once a month. So after we're done talking about the Boys in the Valley book, I'll have some ideas from you guys on what book you want to read next time. And then I take those and I bring them to Patreon. Patreon decides which book, like they vote on which book to read for next month. And then I will put it in my community tab post and I will mention it on Instagram as well, what book will be for the following month. And then you'll have like, it's like a few days less than a full month to read it. So we'll do it once a month. But if you just keep an eye on the community tab post, then you'll see what next book comes up. Um, but yeah, I mean, all you guys are spot on. It's, yeah, these kids are just desperate and vulnerable. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about religion, and I feel like there's a lot that I miss because of it. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. The devil is described as Lord of the Flies. Had no idea. Flies in the head are common. Had no idea. So that's very interesting. Yeah, like if Lord of the Flies, if the kids were possessed in it, yeah, that one's just. I feel like, I mean, I guess it is the same on some levels because it's like you get to a point of like how far would you go to survive kind of things. I guess yeah, I can see why people mention it. The kids gathering in the circle after the man died, so I don't think they had a choice. Yeah, it's hard to know for sure. Yeah, because that is something that I did question. Like, well, why Bartholomew? Because we know he's a good person. But with children, obviously, you're not going to find a bad child. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, like, you're not born bad. At least I don't think so. I guess maybe I'm wrong in that. Uh, but yeah, they can find like the most vulnerable of them. And he definitely was alone out there in the hole by himself. But I do think that there was some weird things that they could do to take over the kids, and I think that they tried to do it with Peter, but Peter just had too strong of a will. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If they got Peter on their side, then they wouldn't really have many issues taking everything over. But yeah, just because it does just make you question like what is evil. It really blurs the lines between good and evil with all the characters. Because even with Poole, sure you hate him and he sucks and he's mean to the kids, but then you also see some fucked up stuff from his childhood, and you kind of have to question what Brother Johnson experienced in his childhood too to be such a piece of shit, you know? Okay, I don't know what this is. Let me see what I highlighted here. Okay, I wanted to bring this up because I didn't know. It says, um, I think this is when Andrew and Peter are, hold on, let me make sure. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, so it says in this book of Mark, it says, in the story, Jesus commanded the demons out of the man and cast them into a herd of 2,000 pigs. Driven mad, the pigs rushed into a nearby lake and drowned. So I guess this kind of, I was going to ask why you think that this was brought up, but I guess that's kind of what you guys are saying, that one man is possessed by all these demons, and then once he's dead, all of that evil rushes into the children, the most vulnerable children around. That's very true too. Yeah, if Bartholomew didn't become possessed, he very well could have died in that hole, because they even forgot about him for a long time and they were like, "Oh yeah, that kid in that hole." I don't think I've ever seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame ever, or read the book, but I did hear that the book is way more disturbing than the Disney movie is. But I've actually never read it. Oh, okay. That there's no greater love than laying down one's life for a friend. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, and then you kind of have these two groups of kids. So, for those of you who haven't read the book, you have a group of kids that are definitely possessed. They start acting weird, behaving weird, being standoffish, trying to get the boys alone. And then you have this other group of kids, Peter being in the lead, along with a few of the other older boys, and then a lot of the really young boys. And they start noticing these things. And and then you have a scene where they're in a chapel because one of the young boys, which again, I can't remember his name now, dies because the possessed kids lure him out. Poole thinks it's a suicide, or at least that's what he's saying. Although I think it's kind of, I don't know that he really believes that. How could he? How could he after he saw what he did and then all of a sudden kids are dying? I don't know. I don't know 100% if I believe that he really thought it was suicide. But regardless, they host like a funeral for him. And they have everyone in the chapel. And a few of the boys lock the chapel doors. And the possessed boys just try to massacre everyone in this chapel. It is crazy. Yes. So they lure him out by saying, "Oh, you love snakes," which I think even that, right? Because that could be like a serpent, and isn't the devil related to or like isn't he represented as a snake or a serpent? I think. Oh, Basil? Is that his name? Yeah. Basil. So even that, there were so many little lines like that where you're just like, oh yeah, I could see. Yeah, tempted by a snake. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I got a little bit. Yeah, I think so too. I think he just would rather pretend like things were fine when he knew he fucked up. Okay, I thought so. I thought there was something about a devil and a snake there. So even that was super interesting, just the way that he kind of slips these things in. Oh yeah, and then there was one other thing of symbolism here. Wait, 256 or 65? 56. Oh, they end up at one point, this is after the chapel scene, but they end up back in their like dorm, and they close the doors and they shove the cross that had fallen off when the demons came. They shove that in to keep the doors locked. And it says, "My eyes rest on the slanted iron cross, our only defense against those who will harm us." There's so many, like you guys were saying, so many little things of symbolism in there with the snakes and the cross. And, like the cross is the only thing that's protecting against these demons. So I just thought that he did a great job with adding those little things in that you can kind of find if you know what you're looking for, but probably there's still a lot that I missed out on as well. Yeah, okay, so the scene where they just massacre everyone was insane. Just imagine, like, just picture it, little kids, they just have knives and they just start pulling out knives and anything they can and just killing their friends. It was insane. That scene is so crazy. And I loved Brother Johnson. He's just like, "Get out of my way, you bastards!" And he's just throwing kids everywhere. At that scene, I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. Maybe he's not all that bad. I'm joking. I know he's a bad guy. But yes, so a lot of people die in that scene. Some of the children escape and they reconvene back up at their dorm, and that's when they put the cross in to try to protect them against the rest of the demon kids. And by this point, I think they're all pretty aware. And by the way, for those of you who haven't read, during this whole time, we're getting Peter, and like this is why I love this story. It's horror, it's romance, it's coming of age, it's struggling with faith, it's loneliness, but also connection and friendship in unlikely places. There's so much more to the story than just horror and blood and guts, even though it is that too. And I think that it's really impressive to be able to have a balance of that, where you have this like really dark, disturbing, gross, horrific story, but then you can also have these like really deep, profound, meaningful moments as well. So during this whole time, Peter has this girl, Grace, that he is in love with. And so he's really struggling with his faith. Andrew wants him to become a priest. He has no family, and Andrew would like him to help take over. And hopefully when Poole retires, him and Andrew can run the orphanage and hopefully run it in a way that is better than the way that Poole runs it. So that's kind of Andrew's hope for him. And Peter is split. He doesn't know if he wants to leave religion and just marry Grace and have a normal life, or if he wants to become a priest and be like Brother Johnson and give up that aspect of life. And brother John, or no, not Brother Johnson, Andrew, whatever, is like the sweetest, kindest. Oh, I loved him. He's one of my favorite characters. He's so like he is, I think, the embodiment of what religion really can be, is just like a kind-hearted person who tries to guide other people through life. And he's never pushy, and he never tries to make up Peter's decisions for him. And he's just there to support him and show him what he brings him to Grace. And he's like, this is what you're missing out on if you choose to become a priest, but you need to know what that is in order to make the appropriate decision. And I don't know. I loved that character. I thought he was such a good priest and also like a father figure. Yeah, Poole had so many freaking issues. He definitely ran the place with an iron fist and with torture and punishment as opposed to love and guidance. Yeah, we all need a brother Andrew in our lives. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, it was hard that Andrew too was very resistant to the idea that it was possessed, and he, I think, struggled with that as well. But I think that's also what made Peter such a strong character and our main character. Because I think if Father Andrew were flawless and did everything perfectly, I don't think Peter would have been as strong of a leader as he was in the book. Yeah, I think so too. I think it really does. It shows the dangers of religion, but also the beauty behind it as well. But then, yeah, but I mean, like, I get what you're saying totally, but just in the terms of the book, if Andrew did lead and was the leader, then Peter's kind of character arc wouldn't have been so extreme, I don't think. Just playing devil's advocate. So they get trapped. The demon children come and attack. They end up lighting the orphanage on fire, and not everybody makes it. There's obviously a lot of struggle and fighting, and a lot of people die throughout. But I did notice something with this read around that I didn't notice before, and I'm curious what you guys think, or maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. Sometimes I do that with books. Sometimes I read stuff that I find meaning when maybe there isn't meaning there. So that could be it too. However, I do think it's interesting that the book starts out with a fire. Then you have this whole middle section where the word purgatory is specifically used by Peter to describe where he's at. He describes the orphanage as purgatory multiple times. You also have a snowstorm, and everything's just like foggy and kind of, like, I guess how I would envision like a purgatory, just like unclear snowstorm. And then you have Grace, which is the girl that he's obsessed with on a farm that lives a few miles away. And he states in the book as well that going to visit her house is like heaven. And so I was reading this and I'm like, holy shit. He starts in Inferno in the house fire. Then he goes to purgatory, to the orphanage. And then he ends up in heaven or in paradise. And I'm like, is this supposed to be like a Dante's Divine Comedy? You know? And I'm like, holy shit, because then I Googled, like, what is the point of Dante's Divine Comedy? And it says The point of Dante's Divine Comedy is to explore the journey of the soul towards God through a symbolic allegory depicting the different levels of heaven, hell, and purgatory, while simultaneously reflecting on human nature, sin, virtue, and the consequences of one's choice in life. Is that not what this whole book is about? That blew my mind. I was like, wait. I wanted to ask Philip Fracassi, like, wait, was this like I don't know if I would go as far as to say like, oh, it's a retelling of Dante's Divine Comedy or anything, but I definitely think that was an influence here. And just the word choice was so specific. Like I mean, the fire, whatever, but then he distinctly says the word purgatory for the orphanage, and he distinctly says heaven for Grace's house. And yeah, he ends up at Grace. I don't know, man. There's a Dante's Inferno video game. Richard, why don't you tell me these things? Oh, and then to answer your question, I think I'm gonna play Little Misfortune again next month too, because I didn't finish it and I really want to see if I could keep her alive. And the fox in the game looks just like Marlowe. Yeah, I mean, I think he intentionally did that, but I don't know if it was like, I don't know. I think it was definitely an influence on this book, and just everything. Oops, sorry. Everything was so intentional, and all of the symbolism that he put in for religion and stuff. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. Isn't that so interesting? And it's so cool too, because the first time I read that book, did not even notice that. And then this time I'm like, oh, that's interesting that he describes the orphanage as purgatory. And I'm like, wait, he started in an inferno. And then at the end, I'm like, wait, he ends up in heaven with Grace. So yeah, I don't know. Really cool. Really cool. In the Bible, the name Peter means rock or stone and was given to Simon, one of Jesus. Oh, see, there's probably so much in here that I completely missed. The name is a symbol of Peter's strength. Oh, I love that. I love that. I was even looking up, like, what does Bartholomew mean? And I don't know. I'm not good with religious stuff. A lot of it just goes right over my head. But I can pick up on Dante's Inferno stuff, I guess, just not anything religious. But yeah, I'm sure there's so much stuff like that throughout. And I love that Peter really, he is a rock and strength throughout the whole book. And he ends up, for those of you who didn't read it, he ends up choosing his religion. He ends up becoming a priest, and he ends up saving as many people as he can. Obviously, he can't save everyone, but oops. He ends up saving, all the children he can and doing the best he can. And yeah, it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. So, oh, I can get my mouse over here. Cool. Let's start a poll. Boys in the BTV. Can I type? No, I can't. What it wasn't for. Oh, for. Oh. Okay. Start poll. How did you guys feel about this? Boys in the Valley. Loved it, liked it, or it wasn't for me? And by the way, if a book is not for you, that's totally cool. We don't, you know what I mean? Like there are books that other people love that aren't for me either, so it's all good. But I am just curious how you guys feel about this one at the end. Oh, okay, so Bartholomew is one of Jesus's apostles too, okay? He was flayed alive with a carved knife. Oh, how nice. Similar to the knife that was taken from Father Poole. Oh, interesting. Those you just at Peter. So, see, I don't even know what an apostle is. like were they his homies? I don't know. I'm not sure. I like I said, I really know nothing about religion. One day I will read the Bible and stop missing all of it, because there's obviously so much in horror that has to do, especially a book like this, that has to do with religion. So I would like to eventually know what the hell I'm talking about. And then, do you guys have any other final thoughts? Anything else you want to discuss about the book? Anything at all? Anything that you saw that maybe I missed? Or, yeah, just anything at all that you want to talk about? Favorite quotes? Anything? Oh, Jesus' first 12. Okay, so they're homies. Yeah. Such a fun read. Yeah, that's another thing too with fast paced books. A lot of the time, they kind of lose their steam, especially if it's repetitive. And if you think about it, it's just about these boys in one place getting possessed. So, by all means, I feel like there should be times in the book where I maybe wasn't fully engaged. Oh, that was something else that I had too. Uh, oh man, that was. But the whole book kept me entertained, the entire book. And yeah, full of symbolism. And there's so much under the surface. Pool getting blinded was epic. Yeah, he got his at the end, sure did. Oh, that's a great question. So, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the story, Peter is very, very hurt, and he asks Grace if she can see the people he can see. I didn't get that. Who was he seeing? That's a great question. What do you guys think? Who was he seeing at the end? So he's laying in the snow, and Grace is trying to comfort him, and he sees people around him. I am curious what you guys think. Either angels or all of the dead boys that he couldn't save, but both are in heaven, perhaps. That is what I thought too, that maybe he was seeing the other boys that he would eventually lead to heaven. Yeah, the souls of the boys. Yep. Interesting, interesting. Okay, I gave it 4 stars mainly because when Father Andrew passed on the faith of God, it seemed like he was given a superpower but didn't come to faith himself. Um, but everything else was great. Was great. See, I liked that usually in these kinds of books or movies, even a symbol of religion is enough to like make the demon cower. I liked that these demons could go into the chapel. I liked that just because they were priests, it didn't mean anything really, you know? And like you have your faith in that to Peter meant that he had to do everything he could to save the boys, but it didn't necessarily mean that he was this all powerful, mighty being. Um, so I liked that, but I'm curious, it seemed that he was given a superpower. Because for me, the transfer of religion, like him becoming a priest, was more so about the choices he made in life and like meaning he would do everything he could to protect the children, less so than it was about becoming a priest and now he was in charge and now the demons had to listen to him. Like the demons were like, shut up, I don't care. You know? So yeah, I don't know. But I did enjoy that they were just like, cool, there's a cross. I don't care. Cool, there's a chapel. I'm going to walk into it. Because I think that's maybe how more so I interpret evil in the world, you know? And did anyone feel Bart was a bit cheesy in his dialogue? That's an interesting question too. He definitely yeah, I mean, I could definitely see why somebody would interpret it that way for sure. Oh, what? Yeah, this is, I like this. Without the faith of God, everything that's done is just an empty ritual. Yeah, it was much more so about him, I think, at least. Yeah, his sacrifice, exactly. Giving up grace, giving up the life that he envisioned to have, because he had made up his mind halfway through the story. I'm telling Andrew I'm not becoming a priest. And then at the end, he realized how important it was and how he needed to do it. Yeah. Yeah, the other book clubs are up. There's only a few. We like just started this not too long ago. But yeah, there are a few up on a few of the past live stream book clubs up. Yes. Oh yeah, he did save Johnson with the baptism, yes. But that's only because Johnson agreed. That's only because Johnson said like, yeah, I just, I'll do whatever, just make the flies stop or whatever. So it's, and he also, I guess he did save his father too. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting from a Christian viewpoint. Demons should be able to enter houses of God. See, that's like definitely not what is shown in horror movies. So I don't know. I don't know if that's because it's a different religion. Because I guess usually it's Catholicism that we're talking about in horror films for whatever reason. They are God's children, but cast out of heaven. If Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, and that's kind of why I liked this book because, like you guys were saying, they weren't extreme possessed like superpowers on either side. Religion wasn't a superpower, and evil wasn't a superpower either. It was just kind of like an equal fight. Yeah, interesting. So even Satan goes into, I'm sorry, third heaven? What the fuck is third heaven? There are multiple heavens? What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know. What's first and second heaven? Yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is interesting because you said it's not, it's just a place made by humans. And because of how Poole ran things, maybe that's why they could enter the church. Maybe that's why, because it wasn't ran the way a religious facility should be run. You know what I mean? So, like, that also could have played into it too, which I hadn't even considered until you said that. Yeah, it's made by humans, and also Poole is not a great priest. Poole is not an upstanding citizen. Poole has kind of no morality throughout the whole book, so maybe that's why they're no match for the demons? Could be. Yeah, I figured that I was missing a lot with the names, and especially Bartholomew. Like, I'm like, nobody's just naming a kid that. It definitely has to have some more meaning. I mean, I guess the book was also takes place in the early 1900s, but yeah, like they'll act to the religious symbols, the cross and holy water and stuff. I didn't even know heaven had multiple layers. Where have I been? Maybe I stand a better chance that there are multiple. Oh gosh. Heaven is like lasagna. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's not a holy place. It's not a place that they go to worship God. It's a place that they go to worship Poole. And he has, in that sense, kind of taken away the power that any holy place would have. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and even the children, I mean, other than Peter, who is struggling with his faith, most of the kids are cussing and flipping off the priests, and they're not being guided to be like, you know, religious figures. Most of the kids just want to age until the point where they can be out of their own and be out of this purgatory. So, oh, another thing I wanted to say too is towards the end of the story, you do have Peter where he is in his inferno, his purgatory, and his paradise. But then at the end of the fire, which is something I wanted to bring up because you said it starts with fire and ends with fire. At the end of that fire, we see another one of the boys looking at the fire. And what did he say? I think he said, he said, "That's my hell." And so I thought that was really interesting too, because although Peter has entered his inferno, purgatory, paradise, maybe that's not true for all of the characters. Maybe they just got out of their hell. So it starts with Peter's fire and ends with their fire. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm hungry now. Oh, you guys are cracking me up. Yes, Simon. Exactly. 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 My husband says I remind him of Garfield because I like to sleep and I like lasagna. Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, or that too. Well, he definitely, yeah, and he also definitely led the other people, but it just kind of made me think that everybody's on their own track, and not everybody's inferno is you know what I mean? Like some people's inferno is other people's purgatory, is other people's paradise. So it was just, I feel like an interesting line. I don't know. There was a David in there. I remember David. Yeah, but also like even with Poole, even learning about his past, I feel like we get a deeper understanding of why he does what he does, you know? And even with Brother Johnson, like look at how he was raised when his mom locks him in the closet. So I think we do get a sense of why they are the way that they are. Not that it's a justification, obviously, but there was one thing that I missed too, but now I don't know. Oh, it was the picture, but I don't think I wrote down. I wish I had the page number because I wanted to read it to you guys, but there's a picture in the study where Peter and Andrew study. Highlight 59. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Group 1, Group 2. Oh, okay. Maybe 127. Maybe he doesn't say. Oh, yeah. No, he does say that it's almost heavenly, the farm. Okay. There's a painting. I just wrote painting, but I didn't write the page number. What a dumb dummy. It's before 222. Maybe I can find it. No, I don't think so. Anyways, there's a painting in the study. Actually, I know I highlighted it, so maybe I could just go through. And it's such a good, I think, foreshadowing of what ends up happening. But it's when they're in the study. Ah, did I find it? Oh, no way. Okay. It says, okay, so there's a painting in like I just said 800 times. Okay, it's a painting in the study. And it says that in this painting, which Andrew once informed me, this is Peter's point of view, was done by one of the founding priests of St. Vincent's, is an elaborate, tableau of human suffering, demons, and a bleak, flaming landscape. The humans, naked and corpse-like, as if on the brink of starvation are being poked into a lake of flame by the demons, who hold spears, swords, and daggers. The demons are spike-tailed, black-skinned devils, but their faces are almost angelic, a conflicting depiction that makes them seem even more obscene than if they had horns at their temples, with yellow eyes and gnashing teeth. I felt like this was such a great foreshadowing, because that's exactly what the children are, you know? They're are almost angelic. They're little children, but then they do have these demons inside of them. So I thought that this was a really interesting foreshadowing in this. And then it also says that they're on the brink of starvation. Like, basically, I guess what you guys were already saying was they're, desperate in the way that they're living there, and probably more willing to believe something else. Okay, gotta catch up on this. Oh, that's interesting. Oops, sorry. This about Father Poole. The Jeremiah is a weeping prophet, and then he cries about his mother. Yeah, I'm sure there's so much in here that we missed. See, this is cool. This is a book that I'm sure I could read 10 times and still find new things. Oh, interesting. I just learned right now about the heaven thing. Like, I had no idea that there was I thought it was just one place. And for me, it's just filled with dogs. Oh, this is also interesting too. Poole is the Old Testament and Andrew is the New Testament. I hadn't even considered that. Because I know that very little knowledge that I know. So, like, obviously take this with a grain of salt. But that the God in the Old Testament is very not a neat dude. There's a great book called Red. Let me see. Who by? Book called Red. Who is Red by? Just because when I search Red book, weird stuff is coming up. So I don't know who that's by, but yeah, tell me who and I'll definitely look into it, add it to my list. The story behind your icon? What's my icon? I don't know. What is that? What do you mean? And then the finger thing, like, I don't know why, but I just do this when I say hi, and I just thought that it was so annoying that I added sound to it. And I did it in every video. I'm like, why do I keep doing this? And now I can't stop. Yeah, and also too, with the whole Dante's Inferno thing, if you bring that into it, if you read Dante's Inferno, a lot of the people that are in those layers of hell, well, I guess that makes sense. If heaven has layers, hell has layers. Well, at least in Inferno, I guess, I don't know, in the Bible. But anyways, a lot of the people that are suffering this eternal torment, they're like, oh, I stole a loaf of bread, and now I'm walking around in lava for all of eternity. Like, it's not even, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's also pretty interesting too. Okay, and this YouTuber talks about, like, gives you information on religion. Yeah, it would be helpful to have a little bit of that. Um, yeah, I don't know where purgatory fits into religion. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Bible, but Wait, so what is the book called Red? Who is that by? And let me end this a biblically accurate angel. Oh, I'm kind of scared. End poll. Okay, so let's see how you guys felt about this. I think it'll tell me. Okay, 73% of you loved it, 21% of you liked it, and 4% said it wasn't for you. Those are not bad statistics. Not bad. I'm curious of for those of you who didn't like it, was it for the reasons that you guys already stated, or were there other reasons why it wasn't for you? And again, no judgment. It's like this, it's literature. We're all gonna, respond to books differently. So I'm just curious. I promise I'm not offended. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. This is just what came out when I was saying hi. And I think I do this in life when I'm waving to people. I think it's just weird. I don't know. Mm, no, I haven't read this. I haven't read any of his books actually, but I will add that to my list. Okay. Oh, I think this was, I don't know if you recommended this last time, but this was one of the choices for a book club for this month. And then Patreon just chose Boys in the Valley. But I think this was one of the options. Yeah, see, that would help if I had a breakdown of Dante's Inferno with the religious elements added in, because obviously I don't even know if I haven't sat down and read Dante's Divine Comedy. Mostly we just read Inferno in college, and then I just like Inferno because it's like about guys eating their children and stuff. Like it's a pretty fucked up story in itself. But yeah, it would help to have all the allegory behind it as well. But I just like it for the gross stuff. Well, that will be helpful then. Let's see. Dante's Inferno. That will be helpful to look at. So thank you. Yes, last month we did Ronald Malfi's Snow. Okay, so let's talk about books for next month. What are you guys thinking? I mean, yeah, I mean, that's what I have seen purgatory discussed as, but I don't know what it is in like a religious text. Like, I don't know if it's in the Bible. I don't know what it is in there. I don't know if it's like, yeah, just a waiting room in the Bible too. I'm not sure. Well, I'm glad a lot of you guys saying that you like Adam Neville's work because I have been wanting to read. Actually, Richard, I think it was you that recommended a book by him. It was the one that the movie was based on. Oh, The Ritual. I think that was you because I wanted to read creepy woods type stuff. And I haven't gotten around to read it, but one day I'll pick it up. But it looks like you guys enjoy his writing. Okay, so for next book club, the idea of purgatory, from my understanding, is you basically atone for your sins. Okay, so it's not just you're not just like sitting around waiting to go in. Okay, so for next, you guys, the story of a murderer. You guys always choose books that I just read. No, not that one. I just read Intercepts. Patrick Susskind. That's okay. I mean, we're just on the same wavelength. That's why, But okay, so I have Intercepts, and then I have oh, Perfume, the story of a murderer. Okay, that's that. So we just did a Ronald Malfi book last month, and I only say this because I doubt Patreon will vote for a second Ronald Malfi book this month. But Ronald Malfi is coming out with a new book in June or July. So I'm hoping. Oh, Johnny got his gun. You just want to go all depressing. I'm down though. So what I'm saying is I can add a Ronald Malfi book in the mix, but I just probably won't get chosen for next month, but I can add it if you want. I don't know. What are you thinking? You let me know. But I do have Johnny Got His Gun. I'm willing to read it. I don't know how it's that's going to be a tough one, but we can do it. I'll add it. And then also I did get a request to add, yes, thank you so much, Richard. That was just what I was saying. I know a few people wanted Victorian Psycho, so that will be on our list too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait. Did I miss any? I feel like it would be easier if we had, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you just like the random pick whatever book, or would you rather have like a theme for each month? Okay, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I can't keep up with all of these. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. Okay. No, Johnny Got His Gun. You don't want to depress everyone this month. Got it. Blood Meridian. I feel like that would be a good one. Oh no, okay. Oh. Haunting of Hill House. The title of the book, was that the Reddening book, or was that, which one? Which one did you recommend? Sorry. Yeah, would it be better if we had a theme? Because that way, like, this is going to be too many books to choose from. You know what I mean? Maybe we should all consolidate on a few choices, and then Patreon will decide the final one. Because if I give them 30 books to choose from, it's going to be difficult, you know? Or random. Okay, we could do random too, but let's do a few. I've seen a few people say Intercepts, so we'll keep that one. I don't know, guys. Some people want random, some people want a theme. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I think I'm going to say Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep for summer, Richard, because it feels more of a summer read to me. Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny? Is I do have this on my list. And I do, oh wait, hold on. Is this who I think? Okay, yes, because Nick Cave is a musician, and there I found a few other novels by musicians as well, and I thought it would be cool if I read a few of them, and I did. That is one of them that I had on my list, and I also have War Ghoul by the singer of Guar, and I have so many lists of videos that I want to do, and the lists keep growing and I never get them done. But anyways, I was thinking that would be interesting to read books by musicians because I feel like they would have a pretty interesting take on writing. Okay, trying to catch up. I don't want to make the call. It's too hard. Yeah, I think it is the same Nick Cave. I'm pretty sure. Or I think so. I think it is. I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe it's a different Nick Cave, but it did come up when I was searching for books written by authors. Yes, I do have the Reddening. Oh, wait. So do you want the Reddening for book club choice, or maybe we'll do a poll here and then we'll limit the choices. And then, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so we're 100% picking Victorian Psycho because that was what a few people from Patreon wanted to read that couldn't make it to the live stream. So that will be one of the options that they choose from. And then I have Intercepts, I have Perfume, I have Mean Spirited. I can't read my own writing. I have The Fisherman, Intercepts, Blood Meridian. Did I miss any? Oh, Pink Slime. Was that a book? Yes, okay. And Pink Slime. Did I miss any other ones? So I'll do a poll of those, and then you guys can vote, and then we'll limit it to a few, and then we'll use that for Patreon. How does that sound? What do you guys think? I don't think I'm gonna add a book this month. I'm fine reading. I'm fine reading these. I think I'll definitely add the Ronald Malfi book when that comes out, and I'll add Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep probably later on in the year during summer or something. But I don't think I really have one to start. Okay, book for next month. Intercepts, Perfume. What else do we have? Mean Spirited, Blood. Is that how you spell meridian? Meridian. Yeah. Oh no, wait, can I not add? I can't add more than 4. Fuck. Okay, then we'll do 3 and 3 and see what happens, right? And why can't I X out of this one? Okay. Yeah, I can't add more than 3 options. That is so lame. Okay, guys, you're gonna have to do 2 polls. I apologize. So here's the first one. Mean Spirited. Is that right? By Nick Roberts? Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna have to do 2 pulls here. Here's the first one. And then I'll do a second one after. Okay, sorry. Really? You DNF'd Blood Meridian? No way! I don't know. I don't think I've ever read Catriona. There's one that says, is it Nowhere Burning or The Witching Hour? They both say that they are 2025 reads. Yeah, I guess 2. She has 2 coming out? Yeah, I haven't read any of her books. Let me see. Oh no, that's not her. Why did this come up? Wait, is this from the writer? No, I think it's Nowhere Burning. I don't know why that other book came up. Let me see. I know I've heard her name, but I have not read anything. Okay, yes, I've seen this Sundial book. Oh, The Last House on... Wait, is that her? The Last House on Needless Street? What is her? I thought that was written by someone else. I've seen this Sundial book and I've seen this Looking Glass sound book, but I haven't read anything from her. Okay. I shall check out her work. Okay, did everyone vote? Did we get all the votes in? Let's see if my husband will bring me home a boba. The only one I have so far is the Victorian Psycho. So can I end the poll? Did you guys vote on this? The only thing I can't see anything. Like I can't see how many people voted. I can't see even what the votes look like on the poll. I can only see how many votes Intercepts got. So are we ready to cancel this one? Fireworks! What's happening? Why does it keep doing that? What is that? Guys, what? I'm not crazy. You guys saw that, right? I don't know. I don't understand. Why does that happen? Okay, I am officially ending this. Oh, I'm ending this poll in 10 seconds. Vote if you haven't. I don't think so. What? Wait. Why? What is happening? Oh my gosh, wait, what is this? What is this black magic? Why is this happening? What the heck? That is so weird. How did you even figure that out? Why am I giving so many thumbs up? And why is that a thing? I gotta ask Brian what the hell is going on because that's never happened before. What about one thumbs up? No fireworks. Only two. How does it know? This is seriously like, I would get burned at the stake for this in the 1800s. That's crazy. How am I doing that? Oh, thumbs down. Wait, what is this? I wonder if there's more. Are there more hand movements? Guys, this is so entertaining to me. I'm a witch burner. That is so funny. I'm gonna do some Googling and see why the hell this is happening. I think it's because I'm not just on YouTube. I'm using this other thing that Brian set up. What happens when you give the middle finger? Nothing. What about a heart? Oh! You guys! No way! I didn't know where to come out of. Okay. I am like a toddler. This is so fun. Any other suggestions? Well, glad we figured that out together. One up, one down. The computer just blows up. Oh, really? I guess I don't use FaceTime. Everyone I know has, like, I have an iPhone and then everyone I know has Android, so I never use FaceTime. I'm gonna Google and see if I could find even more of them for next. Okay, I'm ending the poll now. Ready? Okay, they're all pretty much split. That wasn't very helpful. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a new poll. And add these next ones. So that one was Intercepts, Perfume, and Mean Spirited. This one will be Blood Meridian. That's not how you spell blood, my dude. Blood Meridian. Wait, I did Mean Spirited, Pink Slime. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and the Fisher. Fisher Man. Okay. Oh, you know what? I can add options. I'll see how you guys feel about Victorian Psycho. Okay, next poll. Let me know. Oh, see, now I can see it. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I just don't know. Oh, no, disappeared. Okay, cool. Oh no, yeah, no, I'll do intercepts, but I probably won't just do one from each, you know? But they're all very close. That's all I meant. I promise, I'm not going to cheat you out of your intercepts. Yeah, I heard Blood Meridian's pretty disturbing. So I guess, I don't know, I'll just take these votes and we'll see. It says Pink Slime by Fernanda Trias. I will take a picture of this poll. Yeah, I don't know. So do you guys just like the random thing? You don't think we should follow And then we could just do it like this, where whoever has ideas, we'll just put them in polls. And then for sure the highest ones will go in. And then I'll probably choose one or two other ones too. Oh, she's from Uganda. That's interesting. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm just really bad at making decisions. And I'm down to read whatever you guys want to read. I mean, I just read Intercepts, but I'll read it again. It was a fun book. It's hard to pick what... I mean, like, this is my type of book for book club. Books that we can analyze and that there are things that can be read different ways. I think these make the best book club books. But even last month we did Snow by Ronald Malfi, and I was a little worried because there's not much under the surface there. It's just kind of a little, story of, whatever. But that one was fine too. And I think that's how it's going to be. Some book clubs will have books that we can analyze a bit more, and then other book clubs will be more on the surface, and that's just what horror is, And I think it'll be fine either way. Okay, I'll bring this idea to Patreon, and I'll see what Patreon thinks. I'll make them decide for me. So you can decide. I just wasn't expecting so many different options, because I think we've only done this a few times and we've only ever gotten a few options, so it's going to be harder if more people watch, which isn't a bad thing, but I can't bring them 30 ideas for a book to read, so. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for being here, you guys. I could talk about books all day. I'm really happy we're doing this every month, and I'm really enjoying it. So, oh, that's also, I have one more thing to talk about too, for sure. The Nosferatu book, I gotta be honest, I was reading it, like I told you, every day until I got sick. And then when I was sick for that month, I haven't touched it. I haven't gone back to it. And it's on my nightstand. I'm like, oh shit, I need to finish this book. But I was really enjoying it up until that point. No, Intercepts isn't splatterpunk. It's just like, it's more mindfucky than anything, I think, right? I know, I saw the Victorian Psycho book and I was like, what is this? Oh, Uruguay. Uruguay? Oh yeah, let me check something actually really quick in Patreon before I... Where is my Patreon? Oh, you can watch the live stream directly from Patreon? I didn't know that. Okay, I don't think... I guess I'll bring it up to you guys. Okay, so my question was, yeah, Richard, always, you always read my mind. I swear, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. So I want to read House of Leaves. For those of you, where did I put it? Hold on, let me grab it. Okay, for those who haven't seen this one or don't know what it is, this is House of Leaves. It's like a pretty infamous horror book, and it's pretty large, and it's weird. There are blank pages, there are pages that are written upside down. And I would like to read this book. but it won't be next month. Don't worry. What I was thinking was, because it's so large of a book, that this could be maybe December's book club and we could just chip away at it all year, because we're still going to have a book club every single month. But I wanted to see if this is something that you guys would want to do. I was also thinking that we do reading sprints over on Patreon, and I was thinking maybe we could do reading sprints just on my regular YouTube channel and kind of just chip away at it slowly and read it together throughout the year. But I wanted to see what you guys think of that idea. So it could be December's book club, and that way we have almost the whole year to read it. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's another thing, is I think it would be easier to read together, because then we can do this kind of thing and we can read it slowly and we can be like, well, what did this mean? What did you think of that? And then we can analyze it. And I brought this up on Patreon, and a few of the girls were like, we should break it down into smaller parts so it's a little bit more easily digestible. And that way we're not just doing one kind of overview of it at the end of the year. And I thought that was a good idea too. It's just a little bit more challenging on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't always show people the same. Like, even if you're subscribed to someone, you won't see every community post, you won't see every live stream, you won't see every video. So it's just going to be a little bit harder to follow. But if that's something that you guys want to do and you just want to keep a close eye on the community tab post, we can do that too. But let me know. But that's why I've been so scared to read it too, because I'm like, I'm not smart enough for that. I don't know, but I think it would be kind of a cool thing to do together. Liz, work does not take precedence over book club. What? Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to start a book club, because I mean, my best friend reads, but other than that, I really don't have many friends that read. Yes, I promise I will read that Nick Cave book. I know, Richard, always reading my mind. I honestly have no idea what House of Leaves is about. Well, I know it's about a house, people move into it, and like the dimensions are often weird and they can't figure out why. And then the kids hear weird things coming from the walls, and that's all the information I know. Yeah, I have Phantom of the Opera too, so we could definitely read that sometime. Okay, so I'm ending this poll now. And I will take a picture of it, and I will bring all of this to Patreon. Someone asked what the Patreon link is. I have no idea. How do I even get the link to it? I don't know, man. That's not what I was looking at. I don't know what my Patreon link is. I will find it and link it for you somewhere if I can find it. Oh, you know what? Maybe if I just, actually, I think I can find it. Hold on one second. I think I can find it this way. Yeah. For whoever asked, this is the link to Patreon. So on Patreon, we do movie nights and we do reading sprints and we do, obviously, there's like extra videos and stuff. It just depends what branch you are. And the Discord too. And then we have like a whole bunch of, I don't know what they're called, little channel things on Discord where we can give book recommendations and stuff. It's really fun. It's like a group chat of books. Okay, where were we? Okay, so then the question is, do we just do reading sprints every month, and then maybe we do an additional, because I think I'm gonna do more live streams. I think well, I play games over on Patreon too, and then the games that I've played a few times over there, I think I'm gonna play over here because I really want to finish Mortuary Assistant, and but I can only do that Friday night. I won't be able to do that Sunday. But anyways, what I'm saying is I think I'm gonna do more live streams over here anyways. So then we can do some reading sprints together, and we'll break the book down into a few separate parts, and then maybe in December we'll have like a whole overview book club of this, and we can just sit and talk about everything that we've talked about so far in the last portion of it. But we'll break it down into parts and we'll talk about it together and we'll read it together. That sounds like fun. The only thing is though, is that, like I said, it's gonna be challenging. So I will update you on the community tab post on YouTube and also on Instagram. Instagram's gonna be easier. I know not everyone has Instagram, but it's just so much easier to link things for a day, you know? But if you follow me on Instagram, definitely I will keep you updated there, and that will be easier. It's just going to be a little bit harder on YouTube, but I'll do my best as long as you keep your eyes open and like just keep checking back. And then maybe we start in March sometime. Oh, you guys are funny. My gosh, no, I still have Christmas nails, you guys. They're so bad. I need to get them done. Yes, I will continue the Train Spotting series, but I think I'm going to read Filth before I read Train Spotting. And then I'm still trying to figure out where the new Train Spotting book fits in, because it's after Train Spotting, but there's like 5 of them in the series, so I don't know where in the series it's supposed to fit. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But anyways, I will keep you guys updated for whatever book club book gets chosen. I will put it on Instagram and I will put it on the YouTube community tab post. I'll give Patreon a few days to vote on it, so I'll probably have it out by like Wednesday-ish, and then we'll know what'll be the next March's book club. March? I guess it'd be February. We should have started like at the beginning of the month to the end, whatever. It doesn't matter. The next book club. Yeah, Irvin Welsh is, I mean, I've only read Scab Boys from him, and that was one of my favorite books I've ever read. I'm really excited to read Phil. I think you told me that. I think you did. Someone told me that, yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Megan. Which Megan? There's a few book Megans, but I am friends with a few book Megans. Yes, next book will be fun. We'll figure out the House of Leaves thing and anybody who wants to read. And also the reading sprints will be, you don't have to read House of Leaves. So we can read, you know what I mean? Like they can just be general reading sprints too. Okay, well that's good to know that you don't have to necessarily read it chronologically because the new book that's coming out, I'm not sure where, like I don't know if it's just right after Train Spotting or if it's, I don't know. Oh, yeah, Reading with Meg. Yeah, I love her. I have not. I have not seen the new Nosferatu movie. No. I have not. I'm really behind on honestly all I do is read. I don't really do anything else. But we're starting to get back into it into some movie watching. So, hopefully actually you know what movie I did just watch? You remember that Valentine movie? Like it's called Valentine from the early 2000s? That just like, whatever slasher film. I just watched that on Valentine's Day. Yeah, it takes a while to get used to reading like that. The in Skag Boys, and it's so weird too because in the beginning it took me so long to read one page because it's like I don't know. People have left me comments and tried to explain it to me, but I don't know if it just sounds the way that a Scottish accent would sound, but you're reading it. It's very it's weird, but it's crazy because by the middle of the book, you're just hearing it and it sounds natural. It's very strange. I promise to watch Nosferatu though. I'll probably watch it when it starts streaming somewhere to be honest, but um see, I was honestly nervous to watch it because I love the original Nosferatu movie. So, that was one that when I saw it coming out, I was like, "Oh no, I don't know." Yeah, I love the original. No, not My Bloody Valentine. It's just called Valentine. It's just like a crappy slasher film from the early 2000s. It has like Denise Richards and I don't know who else. But really you guys don't know what that movie, that Valentine movie? I thought it was popular back in the 2000s, but I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, A Clockwork Orange, that's one book that I've tried to read that I have given up on. But I think if you watch the movie right before you read it, it's a little bit easier to at least follow what's happening, even if you have no idea what the fuck's going on. Because he like made up a whole language reading it, you know? It's like not even English. Oh. Yeah, I used to be much more of a movie person and then not so much anymore. But I'd like to get back into it. We did watch the Substance and that was really great. Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited to see what is chosen for next month. Very excited. Well, thanks, guys, for hanging out. This was really fun. I'm glad that most people seem to at least somewhat enjoy Boys in the Valley. And it was an interesting discussion nonetheless, even if it wasn't for you. Hopefully, you still enjoyed talking about it. I'm pretty sure I have, but not for a long time. I had like a phase where I only watched foreign horror movies, like in my maybe early 20s, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. Yeah, The Substance was really good. Yay! Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. Well, hopefully you had fun. Because I had a blast, and I'll keep you updated on everything, and we'll figure out times to read this bad boy together. It's going to be a long ride. And I'll do my best to keep you updated. Okay, cool. Well, I am going to patiently wait for my husband to get home with my boba and potentially take a nap and read my cozy mystery. That's my plan for the day. Do you guys have any plans for your day? Liz, I know you're working. I know you're a day ahead of us. Well, actually, some of you guys are in the future, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what, yes, I went through that phase too, where I was just trying to find the most like depraved, you know, freaking a Serbian film type of movies that I could find. And it was back in the day before streaming services, so I would have to get the movies sent to me by Netflix. Remember when they used to send movies to you? Yeah, it wasn't an easy feat when I was a young child. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry with your snow. I'll send you some of my Los Angeles sunshine. Gonna make lasagna. Oh, you guys crack me up. You crack me up. Those all sound like wonderful plans. Yeah. I'll probably just hang out with the dogs and read a book. How's that sound, Mosley? You want to come say hi? Come here. Mosley wants to say hi before we leave. Come here, buddy. Oh. What did you think of the book? Really? Was it good? 2 paws up? What do you think? Oh, okay. Insightful. Oh, it bored him. Okay. He's I guess not so easily entertained. You need a bath, my dude. This is Mosley, if you have never been introduced to him. Yeah, makes crazy noises all the time. But he just wanted to give you his review of the book. I'm gonna hang out with this guy and go read my cozy mystery. 10 out of 10. Okay, guys, thanks so much for hanging out, and I will see you next month. And, in between too, but for sure next month for book club. But thanks for joining. Bye, everybody. Would you like to say bye, Mosley? Bye, guys. Go eat some lasagna.